Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Football Daily Weekly. I'm joined again by Laurence and Nick. Good to have you here, chaps. We're going to be talking today about the most underrated players in the world. We've got lots of suggestions to get through, so we'll start with Premier League. Laurence, who are you going for?
I've got a really long list. I was looking at this list of people, and every one you kind of go, in a way. Danny Welbeck's quite a controversial one, isn't he?
England international.
And very well recognised striker.
I suppose you can still be an international and be underrated. But what's your reasoning for that?
I think a lot of people, whenever you speak about him, right, this is the classic underrated thing. Whenever you talk about him, people go, yeah, he's not that good. But I think when you look at his finishing, when you look at the way that he plays with Rooney, I especially appreciate his partnerships or his link-up play with Rooney. And I think potential-wise, he's certainly one of those people that you have to look at and say, yeah, I'd actually quite like to see him in the England team. I also love his celebration. Doing the Danny Welbeck, there's nothing more satisfying than that, right?
Well, let's see what the good viewers have been saying. Caleb says Hernandez. Hernandez.
You're very underrated by a lot of people, I think.
Especially Moyes.
He probably should be getting more games. But if you say underrated, go to Mexico, and they can't stop raving about him. So.
Well, I think that's it, isn't it? We can talk about underrated players. Perhaps they're rated in other countries, so we've really got to say in England if they're underrated.
Right.
But I think it's a good point that you say. ThomsYorkie Bars says Jordan Henderson. For all we know, Jordan Henderson's going to be fabulously rated on the continent, but it's probably
a great
unlikely.
Surname, Yorkie Bars.
Indeed, yeah. What do you think Jordan Henderson is?
I think Jordan Henderson's a fair shout, isn't it? I think he's done a very reasonable job for Liverpool this season. With Lucas out of the side, there were one or two games where he got to come in and play a bit more centrally. I think he's very adaptable, possibly suffers from that classic England problem.
Well, you said Lucas there. Lucas Leiva is Dwight Lynn's suggestion of underrated
That's a
player.
great suggestion. As far as I'm concerned, that's a great suggestion. I think the only way you need to look at that is look at Liverpool without him and look at Liverpool with him. Against Newcastle, Liverpool suffered. Newcastle create a lot of chances, a lot of shots from the edge of the box. That's the kind of thing that Lucas shuts down. Against West Brom, he was shutting down moves before they even started.
What about Jay has tweeted, and that's not Jay Rodriguez, by the way, because
maybe
he says Ricky Lambert is underrated. Is Ricky Lambert underrated?
He used to work in a beetroot factory.
Yeah.
Jay Rodriguez or Ricky Lambert?
Maybe both.
Yeah. Well, true, but I mean, I think Ricky Lambert's on the radar now, isn't he? Very much so. He's playing for England. He scored a few goals. Is he underrated?
I think he's still underrated. I think he's a brilliant player. Really, really top draw striker.
Well, we'll move on to we're going to talk about a few players in Serie A, and I love this. At Sharpie8 has tweeted it and said Antonio Di Natale. Now I think Di Natale is quite well known in Italy and quite well rated, but not so much over here. Di Natale, I think, is a fantastic player. Perhaps not rated or well known in England, Nick.
I think now people tend to know the name Di Natale, but he's probably not rated on the same level as he should be. I mean, we're talking about a player who should be spoken about in the same breath as your Del Pieros, your Tottis, your Pirlos, your Zanettis, and he is well up there. And he's been doing all of this in an Udinese side who have really been punching above their weight in no small part thanks to him.
And he's one of the quickest 30-somethings you'll ever see in world football.
Yeah.
Laurence, what about Jerome Boateng, not highly rated among the fans? I think that's a fair shout, isn't it?
I think he is. I think he's also reasonably rated.
Well, the trouble is, I think the reason why I think it's a fair shout is in that fabulous Bayern Munich side, and of course you immediately look at the Ribery's and Robbins, and Thomas Muller and whoever else.
We've got Thomas Muller.
Well, Matt Turvey's said
sensational player.
Thomas Muller is so underrated. I'm sorry, Matt, we all disagree with that, don't we?
I think he's underrated.
Well, you think he's underrated?
I think he's actually underrated because I'll tell you why. Because
on.
I would put Thomas Muller in my World 11, and I don't think that many people would.
This is it, contrasting opinions. Cartola's said Fred. I'm assuming that's Brazilian striker Fred.
Yes.
Is he underrated?
Again, very reasonably rated.
Said he'd kill a lion every day from now until the World Cup to try and get in the Brazilian side. I feel something's lost in translation there.
No.
But he's a braver man than me, if that is literal.
Yeah. And also, I think a lion charity should be contacted in that case.
Indeed. Well, I'm afraid that's all we've got time for today, chaps. Thank you very much for your comments, though. And thanks to Laurence and Nick as well. Next week we'll be discussing the most overrated players, so do get your suggestions in. So thanks for watching the Football Daily Weekly, and we'll see you next week.